today I am really going to be doing a different type of video that is not as happy as my other ones usually are. We're going to be talking about something kind of personal that happened to me and something that's just a little more on the downside, but I have a good message to discuss at the end of it, and it's the whole purpose of why I'm making this video. So this one does have a agenda, I guess you would say, to it. Before we actually get into this topic, I do want to say that this video will include spoilers for Fruits Basket, so if you're watching that series, watching the ongoing anime, then just be aware of that, because I cannot give context to what happened without giving away spoilers to the series. So I will be going over spoilers, but I will leave a timestamp down in the description box at the point where I will be going over the main subject of this video, the whole message I'm hoping some of you guys will take away from it. So just look in the description box for that if you want to skip past the spoilers. But anyway, let's get right into it. And also warning, I don't know how rambly this video is going to be because I did not script it at all, so just bear with me. I'll try to get to the point as quick as I can, but I do tend to ramble. As I've expressed before, I do have Fruits Basket fan pages. I am on Instagram and Tumblr. I will give the backstory to what happened and then get into the main point of this video, but let's get into the actual story first. That does have to do with something that happened on Tumblr for me. So every morning I basically go on Tumblr right away, which is so weird because I was never a Tumblr person way back in the day when Tumblr was so popular, but ever since I've gotten involved in the Fruits Basket online community, the Tumblr community on there is so freaking fun with the Fruits Basket fandom, so it's become just a very big happy place. So as usual, I went on there in the morning, and that morning I did find out that the preview images for episode 2 had come out, so I was really hyped. And also Kureno's character design, not really his character design, but his design that was released in an ad, so basically his character design was released. So I was so freaking ecstatic that morning. Like, I hadn't been that excited during the airing for the Fruits Basket anime in a really long time, so I was just over the moon. And usually I do check my ask box in the morning on Tumblr just to see what's going on there. So I went on my Tumblr ask, and I was met with a very interesting anonymous message. But first, before I get into that, I want to give context to the meaning behind this anonymous ask that was in my box. So I did make a post, and that is what the ask is referring to, so I'll read the post out loud. It has to do with my distaste toward Kakeru, but not just like my dislike of him, but also me giving reasons to why I dislike him, because I had a lot of people asking me why am I not fond of Kakeru, so I thought I'd explain it in a post and also clear up a mistake that I did make and a conclusion about him that I made that was not fair to his character at all. So let me read the post just to let you know what I'm talking about. So it says, here's what will probably be a long ass post on my mixed feelings on Kakeru. It really wasn't that long, but I felt the need to say that. So it says, first off, I don't hate him, even though I give that impression, but it's hard to hate any of the characters from 𝑟𝑢𝑖𝑡 because they all have redeemable qualities with the exception of Ren. And they still need flaws to make us feel for them and relate to them, as well as give them more depth. I've mentioned how I really wasn't fond of him because of how he made Toru feel after her mom died, but I completely forgot that he was remorseful and apologized to Toru for interrogating her for feeling sad that her mom died, and I included the evidence of the moment he apologized to her for that incident, and I'll put it on the screen just in case you want to see. I don't know how I forgot this. I've read this manga a dozen times and I still forget things because my memory is crap and there's so many characters to keep track of. Anyway, going back and rereading this, I feel a little less hostile towards Kakeru. Fortunately, he has a good girlfriend who told him, like it is, for ridiculing Toru because she had every right to grieve over her mother's passing as much as Komaki had a right to grieve the loss of her father, which is true. There's no way Toru would ever think her loss is more important than someone else's. Kakeru understood that and he apologized, so props. Keep in mind that I'm complimenting Kakeru here. I can let that go since he was remorseful. However, Kakeru still is a character that I can't love because of his personality. He's just too much. Sometimes I'll admit he is funny, but then other times I want to throttle him because he won't shut the hell up, which is true. And I can't tell you why I like 𝑖𝑚𝑒 if I don't like Kakeru, because both have eccentric personalities. I guess 𝑖𝑚𝑒 makes it come across as more charming. And then I go into comparing Kakeru to 𝑟𝑢 because someone had asked me, why do I approve of what 𝑟𝑢 did to Toru, the crap he put on her, and I'm not okay with Kakeru doing it, but I won't go into that because that's not the point of this video at all. But I'll link that post that I made in the description box if you want to read the rest of it, just in case you're curious at all. So after I posted that, 24 hours later, I got this ask. So I'm going to read it. I do not even want to read it again, but we have to so you get the context of what I'm talking about. Alright, so here it goes. No offense, which before we begin, if you're going to say no offense, then the post is automatically going to be offending. Like, every time you know it's going to be offending, so that's why you put no offense. It really bugs me when people say that. Like, just don't say that, just let it be offensive because it already is. But we all know the reason why you forgot that Kakeru apologized to Toru. As much as you read 𝑟𝑢𝑖 a lot, be honest, you only cared about the Kyo and Kyoru moments. And let's be honest, anything related to Yuki you seem to forget easily. For someone who claims to be knowledgeable of Fruits Basket, you're definitely too biased to claim to be so. Your anti-Yuki-ness is still strong for sure. I liked you because I thought you were knowledgeable, but I don't know anymore. But that's just my opinion. So, yeah. I got that lovely message about a week ago. Not even about a week ago, less than a week ago. And instantly when I saw it, I freaking got really hurt. So this was my response to it, which I still stand by this response, but a lot of people were telling me you were way too nice, which I expressed how I apply WWTD on a daily basis. What would Toru do? And I applied it here. So anyway, I'll read it just in case you want to know. So it says, oh wow, I was in such a great mood since those preview images dropped, but now dang, that hurts. And that was so true. After I read this, I was like, day ruined. You can have an opinion, of course, though. I can swear that I just forgot, and I'm not using that as an excuse. I just have really bad long-term memory, which is true. If I had recalled his apology to Toru, I would have cut him less slack way earlier. That's why I went back and reread that part and corrected myself in that post I made by saying I was wrong, and I appreciate him for giving Toru the apology she deserved. I don't know when I ever said that I didn't like Yuki. Maybe in some posts from a year ago when I was simply just indifferent with his character, but the anime has made me appreciate him a lot more because I relate to his struggles now and I understand his character growth, whereas I couldn't comprehend him when I read the series as a teen. I don't hate him and I don't know where it comes across that I do, but I'm sorry if I gave that impression. Admittedly, first time I read it, I did only care about Kyo and Toru and their relationship because they're the main characters we follow. But as I kept rereading it, I came to love the other characters as well. The series has a lot of characters and it manages to flesh them all out flawlessly, but it can be hard for me to keep track of them all sometimes. So back then, I did gravitate only to Kyo and Toru. One great thing about this series is that I'm always discovering something new each time I read it. That includes falling in love with characters that I didn't pay attention to before. It's like reading something for the first time all over again. And we're all going to have a favorite character. Mine just happens to be one of the main, so I apologize if that seems shallow. And I'm sorry if that came off salty. It just hurt to hear, because now I'm afraid I come off as making excuses when I honestly am so forgetful. I apologized 3 times in that post. I can't even tell you why. Okay, one thing, I'm still shaking after reading that because it made me so upset at the time. But one thing I always come to the conclusion of is that I'm always in the wrong. So when I first read that that ask that came my way, I immediately was like, wanted to apologize because I thought like I was in the wrong for liking a character. But now looking back on it, like almost a week later, I know, yeah, that person, whoever that was not correct in anything that they said. And a lot of y'all who follow me, why am I so shaky? I'm still shaking. A lot of y'all who do follow me on Tumblr were saying like, no, that person is completely wrong, which I'll get to that later. But it did give me reassurance that I wasn't doing anything wrong, so I was so happy about that. So let's actually dissect what this person was trying to tell me. So they kept mentioning that I used my forgetfulness as an excuse to disregard characters and just pay more attention to 𝑘𝑒𝑜 and Toru's relationship. Which I can reassure you, like I already did in my response, that is not true. I am honestly so forgetful. It doesn't matter how many times I reread the manga. I am so forgetful. I have the worst long-term memory. My short-term memory is fine, but my long-term memory is really, really bad, and that has to do with personal reasons. I used to be epileptic, and I'm not anymore, but it still affects my brain to where I can't remember things from a long time ago, or things like reading the manga a long time ago and information I took from that. That's why I'm always forgetting things. My comprehension skills are so freaking bad, so I'm not using it as an excuse. It genuinely does happen to me, so like, I swear I'm telling the truth. But I'm so glad a lot of you from my Tumblr do believe me, so thank you. Like I also mentioned in my response, yeah, I used to only care about 𝑘𝑒𝑜 and Toru when I first read it because they're the main characters that we follow. But it only took me rereading the series over and over again, and that's when each time I'd reread it, I'd come to love all the other characters and all their stories that we get to learn about. But there's just so many characters in the series that it's so hard to follow all of them, even though, like I said, they're so well developed. It can be hard. It's a series with a lot of characters, and it's hard to keep track of them all besides the main ones that we follow. And let's be completely honest, okay? 𝑘𝑒𝑜, Toru, and Yuki are the three main characters that we do follow, so of course it's going to be way easier to remember their characters and what they're going through as opposed to the minor characters like the rest of the family and all that. Of course it is. So it's a given that you're going to remember them for the most part, and that's why they're so stuck in my memory, is because they're the main characters that we follow. It's just how it is. One thing, this is actually probably the biggest thing that really set me off about this ask, is how they called me anti-Yuki, and I have never stated that I am anti-Yuki. I don't know where they got that from. The only thing that I can think of why they would say that is maybe like over a year ago I made some type of post that mentioned that I'm not fond of Yuki because, if, like I've said numerous times, I used to be not a huge fan of Yuki until the anime came out, and somehow the anime did make me fall in love with him more because I feel like I can relate to him more now than I did as a teen, so that's why I love his character a lot more. I've complimented Yuki so many times. I don't know where they got that, but it is completely not true. I am not anti-Yuki. He is amazing. He's such a sweetheart. He's a sweet boy. I don't know how anyone could be anti-Yuki, so no. That I knew for sure was completely false. They also said that I claim to be knowledgeable of the series. I never claimed that I am a know-it-all on the series at all. There are still a lot of things that I don't know. That's why I love going on Tumblr and seeing what everyone else has to say, their analysis on characters and plot points that I never realized before, because there is still so much about this series that I'm still figuring out and coming to realizations to. So there's still a lot I don't know. I am really knowledgeable about 𝑘𝑒𝑜, of course, because he's my favorite character, but there's still a lot of things about the series that I'm not knowledgeable at a very full extent. So that one, I never claimed to be knowledgeable. After responding to that ask and just putting it out there into the world, instantly, like right when it came out, so many of you guys who do follow me on Tumblr, so if you're watching this, I want to thank you again, came back and replied to that and told me that they were in the wrong. And I was like, glad to hear that, because like I said, I was giving them the benefit of the doubt for some reason. Like I kept thinking, like I kept asking, are they insulting me right now? I'm not quite sure, because I always like to think the best of people and their intentions. Even when that ask was blatantly being super rude, I was like, are they insulting me? Are they saying the truth? Like, do I really not pay attention to any of the other characters because I just like to talk about 𝑘𝑒? But I was so happy because so many of you guys like had my back, so thank you so much. I was crying, legitimately crying while reading your messages, because that ask had like shook me up so much that it just made me so happy that a lot of you had my back in that situation. So thank you so much. Again, I know I've already thanked you, but it meant so much. And now I do want to get into like the big part of what I want to talk about in this video, because out of everything, because even though it did not feel nice to be told that, I think it did open up room for discussion on a topic that we don't talk about enough, and that is the freedom to love whatever you love, being a character, a story in fiction, and not being judged because of it, because that is exactly what that ask was doing in my personal experience, and it just felt awful. I don't think there's any circumstance where it's just okay to come at someone for loving a character and making them feel bad about it. I wouldn't want anyone to experience what I experienced, the thought of anyone feeling put down for loving a character and wanting to talk about a character or a story as much as they want, and just being shamed for it just makes me so sad, and I wouldn't want anyone to go through that. Because for like 10 minutes until it took for me to get like reassured that I was not in the wrong, that's exactly how I felt. I felt like I was being so annoying for talking about a character that I just adore, dedicating a whole vlog to just talking about this one character for the most part. I literally thought that that's what everyone was thinking, like I was being annoying for always gushing about a character. It's sad because it just takes one comment like that for me to just assume that everyone feels that way, even though I never get comments like that. If I do, it's so freaking rare, and this is the first time that I've actually gotten a nasty comment like that on Tumblr, and I don't think I've ever gotten a comment like that on any of my other social media too, so that's why it just felt really bad at the time. It took me realizing that all that they had to do, they didn't even have to send that. They could have just getting the fuck off my blog, because if they don't want to see anything about 𝑘𝑒, then get off the freaking blog. Like my blog name is 𝑘𝑒 𝐵𝑎𝑠𝑘𝑒, so obviously it's going to be a blog about 𝑘𝑒. So if you want to go talk to someone who does actually like 𝑘𝑒 and talks most about them, then go follow them. I just don't understand why you would come at me for talking about 𝑘𝑒 when I'm clearly a 𝑘𝑒-centric blog. So I just thought that was ridiculous. Like, instead of sending that, just go away. You don't have to follow me. You don't have to look at anything I post. Just go and find a 𝑘𝑒 or Yuki-centric blog. There's a lot out there. But going back to the main part, just please don't shame anyone for loving a character and wanting to talk about it, because I personally think it's beautiful when I see anyone passionately talking about a character or story that they love. Any character from Fruits Basket, if they are so passionate about that character and want to talk about it, I am all ears, whether it's, you know, Yuki or Toru or 𝑘𝑒, even though I don't like him. If you want to passionately talk about him, I will listen. Even if you even if you want to start a whole fan blog for Ren, who is the worst character in the series, like, you do you. Just be free to talk about any character you want, and let's not shame others for doing it because they're supposedly not paying enough attention to other characters in the series. I think in my case I was specifically targeted for this because Kyo is the main, not the main character, but he's, there's a specific term for his character type, but he's one of the main characters in the series, and because he's one of the main, it makes me come off as only paying attention to the mainstream part of the story, the main part of the story, and not giving a crap about all the side plots and characters and all that, which is, it's just not the case. I just happen to love one of the main characters. One of the mains happened to be my favorite character, and that's just how it is. It doesn't mean I don't pay attention to the other characters. It shouldn't make me come off as, you know, shallow for having one of the main characters as my favorite character. It's just how it is. In fact, I would not be as huge of a fan of Fruits Basket as I am if I did not pay attention or love the other characters. Like, if Kyo was my only favorite character in the story, like, of course I would still be a fan, but not nearly as much to an extent as I am. But based on the fact that I love talking about this series so much, it should be a given that I love most of all the rest of the characters, including the side characters, and I love talking about them. So, I mean, that should be evident enough how much I love all the side characters. But going along with that, I do have a mainly Kyo-centric blog, so of course he's going to be the character I talk the most about because he's my favorite. So at this point, I think I'm just going around in circles. I am so sorry, guys. I've been so nervous throughout this whole video. I've been filming for like a half hour because I keep on starting and stopping because this is like really nerve-wracking to talk about, but it's just the message I wanted to express. Just let everyone love whatever character they want and don't shame them for it, please, because it is not a good feeling. It didn't feel good to be ridiculed for wanting to talk about a character that I absolutely adore. It means so much to me. And the funny part is, I didn't view that ask as much as an attack on me as it was on Kyo himself, because I think it has to do with the fact that his character means so much to me. So it didn't feel nice to be attacked for wanting to talk about a character who I connect to so well, because it's kind of hard to explain, and it sounds kind of ridiculous, but it's just, I feel like it's so true. When I talk about Kyo, because his whole story personally affected me so much, and his whole character arc really is inspiring to me and has truthfully really impacted me in the way I go about things and the way I make decisions, because his whole story just really inspires me. So for someone to be like, your opinions and everything you have to say on the series is invalid, because it's like they're indirectly putting down all the ways that his character has inspired me, and just says like that's invalid because you don't talk about the other characters enough. And it's like, okay, one of the things about this series is not only paying attention to the huge mass of characters and, you know, going over their whole story types, but also talking about how the story has affected each and every one of us individually, and Kyo's story just happens to be the part of the series that has impacted me so much. So it just felt, I'm just gonna be honest, it felt insulting when they put me down for relating to him so much and wanting to express my love for him because I related to him so much. At this point, I really think I am going in circles. But that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Just let everyone love whatever they want to love. Let them love whatever character they want to love, because everyone deserves to passionately express how much they love a character or a story. And like I said, I love hearing everyone gush about their favorite characters in this series, no matter which character it is. So please feel free to do so. And to everyone else, including that horrible anonymous ask, please don't put anyone else down for loving a character, no matter if they're the main character. If they're the main character, it's simply because they just love that character. They're not only paying attention to the most popular part of the story and neglecting all the other characters. That's not the case. You came to that conclusion on your own, and you need to frankly just stop that behavior, alright? So I hope you took away something from this video. Again, I'm sorry it was so rambly. I am still shaking because I'm still so shaken up from that ask. I thought I was over it, but now, like, talking about it out loud, it's just proves how much it just really shook me. Like, I was having a horrible day because I got that ask. It just sucks. But again, so many of you guys who follow me on Tumblr sent me encouraging messages. I had so many that it was overwhelming. Like, I felt so blessed at that moment. So thank you so much for standing up for me. And also, since it's the main focus of this video, if you want to follow me on Tumblr, I'll leave my username on the screen. I would love to have you there. It is mainly a fruits basket, and primarily, like I've been saying, the whole point of this video, it is a Kyo-centric blog because he is my favorite character. So if you want to hear me gush about him, if you don't mind that, then please go talk to me over there. I would really love to have you there. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more anime related videos and anime reactions, and I'll be back really soon. Bye.